DemocracyNow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. We turn now to the story of one of the protesters in eastern Libya. He was reportedly shot by pro-Gaddafi forces. Muhannad Bensadik was a 21-year-old Libyan-American medical student in Benghazi, born in North Carolina. His family lives in Virginia. Muhannad participated in the Libyan uprising last month and joined the armed struggle against Colonel Muammar Gaddafi's forces, reportedly shot during fighting near Brega on Saturday, March 12th. Not clear if he's dead or missing. We're going to turn right now to his mother, who is joining us from Washington, D.C. Suzi Elarabi is deeply worried right now. She was first told he was dead, now possibly that. Well, why don't you tell us what you believe has happened to your son before we play Muhannad in his own words?
At first, Muhannad started going protesting in Benghazi. And then when the freedom fighters took over Benghazi, he started going to Jdabia, Brega, and helping people there, taking food, medicines. And then he went to the front lines to fight Gaddafi's troops. The first thing I heard from his dad that Muhannad has been killed. 2 days after that, I heard from his dad that one of his friends, he was with him in the front lines. He was playing dead when Gaddafi's troops shot Muhannad and his other friend. So he saw that Muhannad has been taken by Gaddafi's troops while he was alive. He was shot, but he was alive.
Let's turn to the interview that Democracy Now! Correspondent Anjali Kamat did with Muhannad by phone on March 10th while he was still in Brega. This is 2 days before he was shot. She was going to meet with Muhannad in Ras Lunaf, but the attacks by Gaddafi forces there made the trip too dangerous. So in order to make sure she could do the interview, she had to hold a microphone up to the speaker of her phone. So you know it's difficult listening. Listen very carefully as you hear Muhannad speak.
Well, actually, I'm a dual citizen. I'm Libyan-American. My father is Libyan, my mother is American.
And where did you grow up?
Well, the first 5 years of my life was in the United States, and the rest of my life was here in Libya. But, you know, I go backwards and forward between the U.S. and here, you know. But my study and my life was mostly here in Libya.
Here in Libya, all right. Where did you grow up in Libya? Which city?
Benghazi city.
When this started, it was a protest. When did you decide to join the people who are actually fighting?
Well, actually, it started like as a protest, but on the 17th, they started, you know, they started shooting and killing people, you know, and since that day I was with the protesters, you know.
And when did you leave Benghazi and, you know, have you ever used a weapon before? Do you know how to fight?
Well, no, not really. Actually, I decided to buy a weapon when I heard that the Gaddafi forces was entering Brega city. So I decided that I need to buy a weapon and go there to fight with the people and help the people over there, you know. So I just went and started looking for a weapon, and I bought one.
Muhannad, how old are you?
21.
And what did you study?
Medical school.
Describe where you are. You're right now in Brega. Say a little bit about where you're staying and who's with you.
Well, I'm in a small camp in Brega city, next to Brega city, you know, with some few of my friends, you know.
Have you been to Ras Lunaf yet?
Well, the day before yesterday.
And what is it like there? Is the fighting pretty intense?
Yeah, it was just, you know, because you don't see the enemy, you only see the rockets, you know, coming towards you, you know. Not towards Ras Lunaf, but the area in front of Ras Lunaf, about 5 to 10 kilometers from Ras Lunaf, you know. Same as the days before, you know, just keep bombing with rockets and with the missiles, you know, that's all, you know. Because you see the enemy, you always see their missiles.
Have you seen any of those who are fighting you?
Yeah, we've seen them with microscopes, you know, from far away, but not as, you know, like close combat, you know. We see them from far, we see their tanks, we see their missile shooting from far away, but, you know, face-to-face contact, we didn't see them.
How many people are fighting in Ras Lunaf? How many rebels are there?
Well, because the rebels are not only in Ras Lunaf, they're in Brega 3 kilometers, you find small group. Each 3 kilometers, you find small group all the way to Ras Lanuf, a little bit after Ras Lanuf. So maybe between 2,000, 2,500, I cannot, say exactly.
And how would you describe most of the fighters? Are they young men? Are they students? Are they professionals?
Some are young, even they're from 16 years old to 30 years old,
And have any of them been trained? What's the ratio between people who are untrained volunteers and those who might have belonged to the army?
Those who belong to the army are very few, compared to the volunteers, And those volunteers didn't even go to the military, they just took small lessons on how to use AKs and these small guns, that's all they have,
Does this make you afraid that you're not well trained?
No, not really, because it's not that hard, to train on these kind of weapons, and for the last few days they've been training us on heavy weapons, like the 14.5 and the anti-aircraft and the missile launchers, We've been training for the last few days, and it's not that hard,
Where are you getting all the weapons from?
Well, from the camps that took in all the east areas, Benghazi, Brega, Libya, all these areas that used to have the big camps that have the weapons and ammunition. This is where we get them from.
And who's training you?
Well, parties of the armed forces, special forces and the army forces,
How did your family feel about your decision to come fight?
Well, not really. Well, actually, my mother is in the United States right now, and she's calling like every half an hour, asking about me, and you should go back home, you shouldn't be there, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, she's really worried, But my father's kind of okay with the situation, because he's here right now, here in Libya, and he just called me before he called me, and he was fixing this ambulance car to come here to help the people, with helping the wounded people from the battlefield to the hospital,
So what do you tell your mother?
So just tell her that everything is okay and I'm not near the fire position and, just like that, just keep her, to feel like everything is normal,
Do you have any siblings, Muhannad? Any brothers or sisters?
Yeah, one brother, 2 sisters.
Are they here in Libya or in the United States?
My brother is here in Benghazi and my 2 sisters, my mother in the United States.
And is your brother also fighting, or what is he doing?
No, he's at home, no.
Okay. How long do you think you'll be fighting?
Well, I think it's going to be a long fight, Gaddafi didn't get out of the country and, but if he stayed here, it would be a long fight, because we still have a long way to go, we still have Thirst, we still have Tripoli, we still have Zawiya, all these areas, And from what I see, nobody's going to withdraw, Everything is going front, nobody's going back. Nobody even thinking about going back right now.
So what are you looking for in terms of support? What do you think people need the most in order to move forward?
Well, actually, the most thing I think they need more leaders, like war leaders, like trained leaders, because this is the most thing that we don't have right now, leaders,
What is your sense of, you're part American and you spent some time growing up in the United States. Do you see any role for the United States in helping your struggle right now?
Not at all, no, not really.
Explain why.
Most of the people now, they say, thank God that we are not counting on the United States. If we were counting on the United States or the European Union or the world, we would be dead right now. But we are counting ourselves, we're not counting on anybody. That's what the whole people are saying, All we hear is promises, we will do that, we will do this, we will this, but we didn't see anything on reality in front of us here in the battlefield,
So describe a little bit how it feels from February 15th to now. You've been doing things on your own, like you yourself just described, and trying to, come out on the streets, protest, and then now take up arms and go fight. Do you feel like you've become a different person? What have these experiences done?
Ourselves, we were not realizing how fast it was, just from protesting to fighting to burning, government buildings to carrying weapons, it just started very fast,
And how does it feel? Describe the changes. I mean, this has all happened so fast.
Well, I cannot describe it, just happened too fast that, some people even still sitting right here say, is this happening, is this true? Am I dreaming or what, just because nobody was thinking that something like this would happen, neither of us or our fathers or even our grandfathers, because we did what our grandfathers and our fathers couldn't do for the last 40 years, so it's something like everybody's wowed, you know.
Has this changed your understanding of what it means to be a Libyan?
No, not really, no. Because Libyan people are known like this, you know, for many years, you know. It was like small, you know, like tiny bomb, you know, but just sleeping, you know, waiting for someone to turn it on, you know. And I think it just turns on right now, you know.
Is there anything else you'd like to add, Muhannad? Is there, you know, just anything you'd like to say about this whole experience?
Well, no, not really. I just want to say that, you know, the world should stop talking and start acting, you know, because everybody here is saying the same thing, you know, saying the word. We keep hearing in news that they will stop you know, any air forces fly around Libya, and they will support with the weapons or do anything, you know, but all of this is just talking, you know. We didn't see anything here, you know. Just saying what the whole people saying here, you know, saying like the world should start acting, do something, you know, not just talk. This is the whole thing.
What would you like in terms of action? What kind of action are you looking for?
Well, at least, you know, the least thing that they could do is stop, you know, their fighters from flying around the areas of Libya. This is the least thing that they can do right now, you know.
Now, would you, as someone who's fighting, who's using arms,
yeah,
would you accept better equipment, better arms? Is this a conversation that's taking place among the fighters, that you need better equipment, and suppose the United States or some other country were to send arms, would this be a useful thing, or is it something that you wouldn't want?
Well, actually, right now, I don't think we need it right now.
You have enough arms?
Yeah, we have enough arms. But the most thing we need is because we don't have any fighters or that much of equipment for anti-aircraft, you know. This is the only thing that we need, that they stop their fighters from traveling around us and shooting us from far away from places that we cannot even see, you know. This is the whole thing. This is what all people is asking for, you know.
Some people in the United States are calling this a civil war. Do you agree?
No, it's not civil war, you know. Just like the war for freedom, you know. It's like, how can I describe it? It's like a revolution, you know. Like it's just
a revolution, he says. It's not a civil war. Muhannad Bensadik, 21-year-old Libyan-American medical student who grew up in Benghazi, born in North Carolina. Suzi, this last 30 seconds, your thoughts. What do you want to happen right now? Suzi Elarabi.
I want Gaddafi to go out and Libya to be free from him. People don't want him, and they have been like that 42 years, and I think it's time for him to go and leave the Libyan people live in peace and freedom.
Suzi Elarabi, I want to thank you for being with us. Mother of Muhannad Bensadik. She doesn't know if he is dead or missing, appealing to people in Libya to find out. That does it for our show. I'm Amy Goodman. Thanks for joining us.